Dear friends of the screen, gather close and let your hearts settle into the rhythm of a tale worth remembering, because the curtain lifts again here at Turkish series stars. The calendar has shed its old skin, confetti fell like a blizzard of color, and cities pulsed under the spell of midnight. Around the world, people toasted to fresh chances, to the hope that the first seconds of a new year might whisper the fate of the months ahead. Yet beyond the echo of fireworks and the countdowns shouted in crowded squares, something quieter and infinitely more meaningful unfolded in the Turkish entertainment world, a vow forming not with noise, but with breathless intention. As the world waved goodbye to 2025 and welcomed 2026, one of Turkey's most magnetic leading men, Çağatay Ulusoy, was not counting seconds, he was measuring courage. And standing at the center of this beautifully orchestrated moment was the woman whose presence has long felt like a steady star in his sky, Hazal. He chose that delicate edge between years to ask a question that rearranges destinies. Without press, without pomp, far from staged spectacle, he bent the knee and let the truth he had carried for months finally speak. It's our pleasure, no, our privilege, at Turkish series stars to walk you into that hidden instant. We will let the room take shape again before your eyes, the hush of warmth, the flicker of light, the shimmer of a ring that felt like a promise more than jewelry, and the meticulous care that carried them to that breath of forever. But before we slip through the doorway of this memory together, let me ask you something, from one believer in stories to another, does the way we begin a year tune the music of the rest of it? If the answer is yes. Or even if you simply love being close to the quiet truths behind the glitz, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series stars. And for those who want to stand a little closer to the spotlight with us, the join button beneath this video turns you into the backbone of our work, offering exclusive perks that bring you behind the scenes of the stories you love. Your support keeps our lights warm and our narratives brave. Now, take my hand, we're stepping into the most romantic night of 2026. To honor the gravity of what happened, we have to start with the setting. No flashbulb-drenched ballroom, no swarm of cameras, no clinking of glasses choreographed for sound bites. The industry is overflowing with New Year's parties where the champagne rushes and rumors flow faster than the bubbles, but that was not their path. Instead, Hazal and Çağatay chose closeness over clamor. We're told they welcomed the turning of the year at a small, guarded gathering. Just their inner circle, people who know them not as headliners and cover stars, but as two souls who laugh at inside jokes and share midnight tea when work is done. And even in that tranquil orbit, when the night deepened and the city outside trembled with anticipation, Çağatay's heartbeat separated from the crowd. His countdown wasn't to a clock, it was to a question. About 15 minutes before midnight, he guided Hazal away from the music and the kind laughter of the room. He brought her somewhere he had planned with the precision of someone who understands that memories aren't found, they're made. What waited beyond that door could have been framed by a director, but it was more true than cinema. The lights weren't harsh, they didn't need to be. Candles warmed the shadows until they danced. The air carried the scent of her favorite flowers, carefully chosen not for display but for meaning, so that one day she might smell that note and feel the same astonished joy spread through her chest. Scattered along the space were mementos that only the two of them could read. A ticket stub here, a photograph that wasn't meant for headlines, a book with a folded page, tiny pieces of their journey from colleagues who grew into confidants, then into something deep that defied the corridors of gossip. The room held their unwritten chapters, turning silence into kindness. Every detail landed softly. Everything said, this is our story, and tonight, we give it a new title. In that sanctuary of memory and light, he let the persona drop away. No character, no costume. Just a man deciding that the next breath should be honest. Witnesses close to the couple describe the way he looked at her, as if he were memorizing how the candlelight clung to her eyelashes. He spoke in a voice steady enough to carry the truth and quiet enough to keep the world out. He didn't dramatize it, he didn't need to. I want every page of every year to have you in the margins and in the headline, he told her, a sentiment simple on the lips and monumental in the heart. Then came the ring, a promise curved into metal, glinting like a new horizon. Hazal, poised, brilliant, so often the calm in any storm, was caught utterly unaware by the scale of it. First came stillness. A breath held, a heartbeat suspended, the kind of pause that makes time hesitate. Then came tears, free and gleaming, the kind that only arrive when joy is bigger than words. Her answer took a second only because emotion borrowed her voice. But when it returned strong. Yes. She said yes. Outside, fireworks braided color through the sky to welcome a year, and inside, two people made a universe with a single word. This is why we follow these stories, isn't it? Because love, when it arrives with reverence, can quiet a cynical room. Before we chart the long map of planning that led to that moment, a question for you, our Turkish series stars family. If it were your turn to ask or answer, would you keep it private like this, or would you step onto a stage and let the world watch? Tell us below, we read everything, and your perspective helps us shape how we tell these tales. And if this careful unraveling of a night is speaking to you, tap that like button. It lifts our stories higher, and the algorithm sends them to other romantics who might need it tonight. If you want to help sustain the research, the writing, the phone calls whispered late at night to confirm details, the join option adds a badge beside your name and tells us you believe in doing this with tenderness. Your support is the heartbeat of Turkish series stars. Now, what separates a romantic gesture from a masterwork of devotion is design, the blueprints you can't see. This was not a champagne-fueled whim. Insiders are unanimous. He planned this for months, moving quietly, careful as a watchmaker tuning the smallest gear. The ring wasn't selected for spectacle, but for resonance. He pictured how it would sit against her hand, how it would reflect her taste, elegant, assured, luminous without ever needing to shout. He enlisted confidants who know her well, borrowing their insight like compass points to guide each choice, down to the cut that would catch the light the way her smile does. And there was more. He honored tradition where it mattered, showing grace toward family. The word is that he spoke with Hazal's loved ones, either before the question to seek their blessing or immediately after to fold them into the joy. In a world that often races past these gestures, he chose to slow down and pay respect. Two people, yes, but also two families, two histories, a bridge built with care. Support poured in from both sides, elders already dotted with ideas and hopes, conversations blooming about the celebration to come. The message beneath it all was simple: this isn't a headline, this is a home being built. When the yes was sealed with a kiss and a ring, the happiness could no longer be contained by that tender room. They walked back into the gathering, and the air shifted. Friends who had been holding their breath let it go in a chorus of laughter and applause that felt bigger than any standing ovation. The night turned on a hinge from anticipation to jubilation. Music grew sweeter, jokes landed deeper, and phones appeared not for clout but to freeze a glow that felt almost touchable. Hazal carried the room's light like a lantern, showing her ring with a grin she didn't bother to temper. By her side, Çağatay looked like a man who had won the only award that matters: quiet, proud, steady. Those lucky enough to be there said the atmosphere almost hummed. Happiness had a texture. And for those who followed their path, from early days working shoulder to years of keeping the important parts of themselves sheltered from the clatter of headlines, this step didn't shock, it satisfied. It felt like the long-expected moment arriving at precisely the right time, the rare feat of a power couple protecting their peace while letting love stay central. And of course, as whispers hardened into certainty, one question rose above the rest: when will they marry? The truth, according to the most reliable chatter, is that there's no rush. Both are standing atop their craft with full calendars and ambitious projects that demand focus. They see the engagement as a season of its own, a chance not simply to plan logistics but to deepen their alignment, how they want to live, what matters most, which dreams should be chased hand in hand. Even so, a rumor has started to float on the warm winds of possibility: a summer wedding in 2026. Intimate, graceful, curated by love rather than obligation. A ceremony where the guest list feels like a quilt of meaning, not a roster of public relations. True to form, they are in no hurry to step onto social media and drop the announcement like a pebble into a lake that would erupt into waves. They want to savor the quiet first, to choose their moment, to face the inevitable tide of attention only when their hearts feel ready. But an era like ours does not wait for official statements. The digital world has already lit its beacons. Their names are everywhere, and comments have become a little river of delight. Congratulations, disbelief at the romance of it, declarations that they seem destined to meet each year with the same tenderness. Fans are counting down not just to the ceremony, but to the first public appearance of those rings, a gala, a premiere, perhaps a charity evening where their presence lifts more than just cameras. And if you're sensing that the bar for romance in 2026 has been set dizzyingly high, you're not alone. There's something perfect in the way stardom brushed shoulders with authenticity here. It felt glamorous not because of glitter, but because of intention. Two people at the center of many eyes chose to place each other at the center of their own, and that changes the air around them. They're not just stepping into a new calendar, they're building a new life. The reminder is gentle and firm, behind roles and scripts, real hearts beat, hoping and promising and daring. As we wait for the photographs to arrive, the ones that will surely open floodgates across the internet, and for the caption that needs only 4 words, I said yes, one thing grows impossible to deny. This love story will become one of the touchstones of the year. It is a soft light in a loud season, proof that patience and timing can meet in a single room and rewrite what comes next. We're not going anywhere. Here at Turkish Series Stars, we will trace each new detail with care. The ring's secret symbolism, the threads of ceremony planning, the small decisions that make a life. Thank you for letting us sit with you in this joy. If this warmed your evening, leave a like and tell us below, should they say their vows wrapped in summer's gold, or do you picture them in a winter glow, a hush of snow echoing the night they got engaged? And if you're ready to be part of our inner circle, tap join to become a verified member of our family. Your kindness is the reason we can honor these moments with the attention they deserve. Until the next chapter arrives, keep faith in the magic of beginnings, and remember the quiet promise at the center of this night. Sometimes the loudest declaration of love is the one spoken softly, to the only person who needs to hear it.